Today, I want to take my city I have in my create world and expand it, adding another 7 houses as well as building a train station. And I'm thinking we should take this at least all the way out to that orange line over there, which is going to be a pathway leading down to this part of the city where we're going to build a train station. And I'm actually really excited about the train station. But before we get started on all of that, I think I want to redo parts of the old one, because I don't think it makes too much sense of there being dirt everywhere. There should be an actual road. And I'm definitely a strong believer in not doing something too complicated when it comes to pathways. So I'm thinking we just grab some mud here. And let's talk about it a little more because we're probably going to be needing it. I'm also going to have to go get a little more wheat, as I definitely want to have this into packed mud form and then mud brick form. And I will be turning that into slabs, and I don't need the most of the mud brick perhaps, so maybe that will do. The other block we're going to need is a bunch of deep slate, and yeah, okay, I have a stack in my storage. Question is, up at the garage here, do I have any more? I probably do. Yeah. With the block palette picked out there, I started laying the new road at the already established part of town to get an idea and a feel of how the road would look. Once I was happy with how the road looked up there, I moved on to continuing the same road design to the edge of the city all the way over at the skeleton farm. This is looking so much better than what we had going on before here. It actually looks like this road is a little more supported and not just a raggedy dirt road. I did decide to skip on the mud parts though, because the roads are a little too narrow for that. I think they would have looked great, but the roads had to be a little wider than they are. And well, I could probably have them in this area here, and I might still put something in the middle here, but I'll get that in later once I have market stands and all of that stuff. Because yes, we will be adding market stand. But now we have prepped the ground, and I want to get some houses in here because I am so excited for them. And well, to get houses, we need to start doing some material gathering. And well, you know where we are heading first. We got our shulker boxes, and we're heading over to the wood farm to, of course, gather up a bit of wood. And a box full of some wood materials, and a quick nap on the bed with a cat. Oh, hello, Jelly. Now, do I store... Okay, I have a lot of sand, and I don't know where I store sandstone. Wait, is one of these filled with... sandstone. Perfect. I'm definitely gonna need some smooth of that and just some regular, which if we take that regular over to the mason bench here, we can turn that into small... Where are you? Small sandstone bricks. Perfect. And then we also grab a little bit of sand. And I wish I could run and use my... Oh, I only have 1 stack of these. Actually, need more. Which means we can take a trip over here to the mushroom ranch. And... oh, we already have a little bit here. So let's grab up a few stems and some mushroom blocks while we're at it. Or well, we're gathering up the mushroom blocks, and we'll grab the stems while we're at it. And yep, 3 stacks is definitely going to be enough for us. As if we head to the botanist bench, I'm presuming, yes, we can make some dark, smooth red mushrooms. And we can make some smooth red mushroom blocks. Perfect. Another thing that I think we might have is some red terracotta. We have 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make a little more of that, as we can craft 53. That should be enough. And we'll turn a few of these into terracotta bricks for the future. I've got materials right over here now, prepped to start some building on these front buildings here. But before we do that, my shovel is very broken, so I'm gonna head over to the spider farm and slap a few spiders. You know what might be faster actually? Just heading over to the villagers and trading a bit with them. Yeah, because I have a lot of iron stocked up. Because now with the new PC, I've been able to actually run my iron farm while actually playing in the world and still recording or streaming or doing whatever I'm doing. Well, tools all repaired, and I think we're ready to get building. Let's first of all move a few blocks out of the way here so that we can get the first building in. Grabbing some deep slate here for my boxes, and we can start this first build. And, well, I didn't think about the road when I was making this the first time, so we'll see how this turns out, but I think it's gonna work out. Since this is the first building of the expansion, and it's a little bit away, it's important that I get this one right. So this is what I dug up with a shape, and then I'm thinking we take these pillars up maybe this tall, maybe one more, which is good there. But if we're standing down here, it's gonna be a little tall, so we take away the top one, and I think this is gonna be a good height for ourselves. And with some sort of a height figured out here, let's start adding in the walls between the pillars. This is definitely a solid foundation, so if we get ourselves up above this, and in the front here, I definitely want to add in a little bit of depth this side, so let's extend out a little bit of spruce before we already have the birch planks on us here, where we can start extending that in here for a start of a second story, where we can get that 2 blocks up, and if we add in a little bit of dirt here to help us out, we can start adding in some stripped birch logs on top of this. Skipping over our windows, of course, and well, I think you already know what's gonna come in this little gap. Cleaning up some of our dirt here on the second story. We have a very big gap here, but taking a step back from this, I think this is the start of a really good shell. Or well, the start of a really good house. With the shell being what's done. But with the shell being done, I wanted to move on to the roof to get that in before we went back down and decorated the first and second story. I'm a big fan of this hut here on the side, but I have to fix the side of this building as it's still wide open. Something we bring in some dripstone here at the bottom, and then we couple that with some mud. And yep, let's bring this up. So here we got a nice shape, filling up that hole, and let's start getting a roof in here, where I'm thinking we can grab some mangrove and maybe couple that with some netherrack. This could result in something new here, and I'm definitely willing to try it out. Maybe some supports on the edges there. And how do we like this? Yes, that's definitely a nice roof. And for those of you that's wondering why I'm building only red roofs, it's because the whole city has red roofs. It's just a theme. So let's get a door in here and some windows. Or we can grab out a few details, get some dark oak shutters. Not up there. I was thinking more here, and then maybe a spruce trapdoor on top of that, where we also can throw in a couple of leaves. Now that we got most of this first house in here, I just gotta run around a little bit and decorate. And if you predicted this opening right over here to be a bay window, you were of course correct, because well, who doesn't love a good old bay window? Oh yeah, perfect. Although we already have quite a lot of spruce, so what if we do try to switch it out for some oak instead, which gives us this instead, and yeah, I think I like that more actually. And flying back here real quick, yep, that house definitely is going to fit in. Now I just have to connect houses between that and then all the way over to there. There's a lot of houses, but we can't celebrate that yet because it's only one house, and well, we have 6 more to build and a whole train station. Yeah, the train station is definitely going to be coming here soon. I just really wanted to get some houses in here first. And over here in my boxes, I want to grab a few barrels, and maybe not for the reason you might be thinking. I also want to grab up some sand materials. As next up here, let's bring in a little bit of spruce like this. And then, no, that's not going to work. Need to pop up on the top side of this and place some barrels facing upwards before grabbing our sand stuff here and starting to add in a wall using that. And hopping down, we get the nice side texture of the barrels and the bottom one, which is also a really nice texture, to overlay the building a little bit over the street, and I really like that. And with a few more details here on the front, like a door and some trapdoors and this display sign up here, I think the bottom floor is looking good. Making our way up here, we can start some decorations on the windows. Where over here, I'm thinking we grab in some copper scaffolding as a window and some fence gates up in the corners right over here to support the future roof. And we can't forget about a little flower pot. And with a style down here in the front, I went around the back to add in the 3 remaining sides. So with our walls in, let's start working on a dark oak trim yet again. Inside of these here, we can stack up some spruce and get some mango trapdoors as a window in that, and follow that all the way up to the top. And we just duplicate that right over here. Then realizing I forgot the roof block itself with our red mushroom, red terracotta, and yeah, that's it. So let's start adding that in, stretching this across over here. And then as we're moving upward here, I think we're going to start transitioning away from the terracotta. We can think a little bit ahead and add in a dark oak stair there for a roof window. And like I was saying here, introducing more and more of the brighter blocks as we move upwards on this roof. And then another thing I do want is definitely these roof windows with our light gray glass. And then we just put some ladders in front of that. Then connecting up our trim here on the top using a line of dark oak slabs. Then moving up here, I think we can extend in a campfire on this level. We get some trapdoors around that, just like we've been doing all over the place. And a slab on top of that. And then why don't we just extend this up one more block and then get the second campfire in. Just for something like this. Which, flying down from here, completes our second building in the city expansion. And this has me thinking, I kind of want to add some functionality to this. And yep, that means some create components. And what if we make a cobblestone farm in this one and then have it output bricks over in this house? I think we're gonna need a third house as well though. But I definitely want to get through this house quite quickly as I am very eager to get started on our train station. So if we grab ourselves a few white blocks, I'm thinking this will look good as our foundation. On the backside here, I think we should add in some spruce for perhaps a little shop area, which we can top off with our crimson nylium. Now next up, we gotta get some walls on here where I think some jungle and terracotta is going to work great. With most of the build in here, I want to add in a tower to the corner, which I used mud for the majority before putting on a tower top, again coming in with our crimson nylium for a roof. With the tower done, I now want to head back to the main building here where I just have a simple mangrove roof to add in before we finish off a couple of details. And with that, the first 3 buildings of the city expansion are completed. But they are lacking a little bit of functionality. So before we go ahead and run over and get started on our train station, which I'm still so eager, I actually want to add in that brick function we talked about earlier. So let's grab my toolboxes and let's get to work. So I'm thinking we start in the sand house here, and I'm not going to be needing my pipes, although I probably will need the rest of this. So what do we start with? I think we start ourselves off with a belt right up here, which will go over to this point. Then I have a good idea of how I'm going to get the cobblestone out of here, because this has to be a cobblestone farm, because that's going to be our first step. But I'm going to need that to go into that one and up over into the roof. Then just building up a simple cobblestone farm. Before we can finish up over here, I've got to head over into this house, and we can even enter it, and let's get ourselves up to the ceiling up here, where I actually want to remove this window. As right over here, I want to add in a shaft with a mechanical belt reaching from there to, if we maybe stack out some shafts from there to that one. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And if we're back here, let's grab a weighted ejector and 2 funnels. Perfect. And I have a feeling you guys know what's about to happen. If we add in a little temporary bridge, I think we break this block. Yep, we find one of those. We're gonna want you to target that block and sit over here. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cool. And then if we break this block, we can get a barrel in right there with a funnel on that, and we'll set it to output, let's say 16. But that finishes up this side, and let's move on to this building. So we're gonna grab our crushing wheels, and I'm just realizing I'm missing 2. So let's just quickly fill in the recipe to get another set of those. Yoink. As now what we'll be able to do here, grabbing some shafts and gearboxes. If I place a gearbox here and here, we can flip those to look upwards, and then we place 2 crushing wheels like this, and that's gonna get us gravel. And then we do the same thing right over here. And we're about to leave this building, but I do want to add in a chute right here. If we grab a list filter and we put flint on that, because I don't have any flint. So now we can... Okay, well, I'm a little too short. Now we can put that on there. And we get a polished deep slate, and... this is why I always carry the flint and steel, because you never know when you need it. Perfect. But now that we have our sand and a little bit of clay, we are moving on into the third house, where I added in the washer and then the smelter. And well, here we have this mess. Yeah, it works. It's gonna eventually end up down here in this vault. And it looks alright. Still have to make some interiors in here. But I'll do that on streams. I'm actually gonna make some interiors. Then probably fix up the old town with the interiors. But we're not quite yet done with it, as it still needs power. And I'm thinking here, where would it be a good spot? Flip this one around and we can take it from there. Don't want to come down in the middle of the room, so I do want it hugging the wall here. So we're gonna extend one more box out, but we can get it down underground here. And, oh, that is the perfect level. Oh, that's nice. Because if we just go ahead and break that, well, actually, we'll prepare a little bit here. Get our speed controller, and we get a large cogwheel. And we can place this one facing, well, not that direction, that way. And we break that, and we replace it with that. Perfect. We can then speed this up to 64, or 256, I mean, and run it all the way back. And power. Wrong way, though. Let's have a look if this over here is also spinning the wrong way or not. It is also spinning the wrong way. So we just flip around the rotation then. I just have to go find it. And I think, actually, this door might help me for once. Oh. Down here. Oh, there it is. Perfect. And, oh, it looks like stuff is happening. So that's all working. Is this working? We're seeing clay. Means it's working. Perfect. Oh, orange glass. Do we have brick already? We do. Oh, it works. But with that brick farm completed, we have to do a little bit of material gathering because it's time for the train station. Ouch. And for this first one here, I'm just going to be running through the storage actually because I got to head up to the building factory real quick where I definitely didn't forget that I am automating terracotta. So we're going to grab a few stacks of that, turning a bunch of this into bricks and, well, actually keeping a lot of it for other stuff. You also do need a little bit of red terracotta here, and with a little bit I mean a stack, and turn that into bricks and put it in the boxes. Oh, if you're wondering, I've already done a little bit of material gathering. I do a lot of material gathering on here, so it's boring showing all of it. And I think I have most of the remaining blocks, because yes, I do have a netherite ingot, and is it chiseled stone that you make a gold stone with? It is indeed. Perfect. And since I have been gathering materials for a little bit, and not only gathering blocks, as I also built a few market stands in the city expansion. And I still have to give them a little bit of love and something to sell, but it's a great start. Yeah, I got really tired on stream last night, and I just had to go take a nap, and it was a long, nice 2-hour nap. Anyhow, bricks have been producing. Oh, I need to add a threshold switch to this. But for now, we can at least grab a few stacks here and turn that into bricks. Maybe I should even add a compact to this as well, because we are getting a ton of bricks here. Now, this should be most of the blocks we need, but I am missing one thing, and that's limestone. And I am afraid that I am out of limestone, which, yep, it looks like it. So that means we have to go mining. Or, well, running up to the drill here, do we have any limestone in the storage? We do not. And there is actually a way to make a limestone farm, so why don't we expand a little bit on the build factory and make a small little, maybe temporary, but a small little limestone farm in here. This corner back here should do perfectly. So I'm thinking we go super simple here, some in-case chain drives and some mechanical drills in front of that, realizing of course that I usually don't have everything to make a farm on me, as I need a few blocks. We're also gonna need a bucket of lava and... oh, no, wait, no, there you go. And if we take a trip down towards the farming area here, I need a bucket of honey. And, how would I get this easily? Ooh, I have an idea. What if I take my pipes? Please tell me I have a spout. I do have one spout. What if we place that there? That will fill. Can I just throw a bucket under this? Well, it's filling slowly. Right, because there's no, Right, I'm finally getting some honey here. Can we get one more, maybe? I just need one more. Please. Oh, so close. Wait, okay, it's not over yet, I don't think. Honestly, can't tell. It looks like there's more in there. Give it to me. Okay, while we wait for that to maybe work, I want to go back to the storage room and try to do it a little more actively, as I had to take a honey block out there to put a depot in. What if we just try smelting this? We put it in this one, throw a coal under there. And with the spare bucket... oh, that... okay. Maybe I should have done that from the beginning. All right, now we should have everything we need here. So, I'm thinking we have an output barrel maybe here. Actually, I'm going to do that. Have it all the way over here, I guess. And then we do hoppers into that. And if we're throwing lava up here, do we get what I think we get? Limestone? Yes, perfect. And power shouldn't be too hard if we do that. And then we get a shaft to replace there. Get a gearbox up on that one without falling in the lava here, Stam, preferably. Oh, wait, no, that's not gonna work. What if we just do this instead? We remove this block and we put that there. Sure, no one's gonna notice that. Grab that down. Another gearbox and our encased chain drives to power that. Now I just have to figure out that we can turn this on and off without... Oh, it's off because that's flipped. All right, there we go. So, yes, we're getting limestone. Perfect. Quick little farm. Gotta love that. So, now I just have to wait a little bit. I've got all of the limestone gathered up now after a little bit of waiting, and let's get over to the build site. And I am thinking that this area right behind here, where we already have a track, is going to be where our train station is going to go. And I wanted to get a plan for how this was going to look, so I hopped into Fresco to draw up a quick sketch. And with a plan down, I got to dig in to clear out the area. Well, got myself here a nice dugout area, and there is a lot of room to play with. But to get a little bit of a better idea throughout this thing, where do I have those? We gotta grab some train tracks, and let's grab our cut tough as well to mark out some platforms. So my plan is to have 2 tracks going in here, and I'm thinking we grab the second one starting from there. And what if we do, let's see, 1, 2, where do we want this? Would we want it all the way over here? Because then 1, 2, yeah, we get 3 blocks. I think that's going to be nice. And then we can run it all the way into the tunnel over here. And eventually that will connect outside of the train station. Just because I don't really have the space. But that's fine. With that at least down, I'm thinking we can start a platform right here, which we can continue all the way over into the wall over here. And then we can do something like this perhaps for the platform going off there. Connecting this back around where we give ourselves something like this. And then we might as well add this in now and extend down the staircase to get under the tracks to the opposite side. And, ooh, I gotta actually do a little more digging here to get the bottom of the pathway in. Or we take ourselves up on this side up to here. And we're on the other side. Perfect. I'm thinking while we're at it here, let's go ahead and grab our limestone. And I think I need a little bit of spruce planks, as this wall right here is gonna be spruce. And then the rest down here is going to be limestone. And there we go, tunnel filled with limestone. And now let's get working on the train platform on this side instead. And that's stone stamp. Good job. We need that. We need the cut tough, which I think we can go ahead and fill in from here all the way over to around this point. Then over here is going to be our entrance, where we can do it a little shorter there, and then we can make it a little wider for a little like platform out here. And then some stairs to get ourselves up there. Well, this floor plan here is coming together really nicely, and I think we've got a better view on now where we need to build around this. And I'm thinking over here is we're gonna put it in that tower with the clock on top of it, and then I want an elevator in that to get us to the top. Okay, cobblestone. That's so funny. That's actually really cool to just see the cobblestone flying over. Anyhow, I want that to be an elevator up to the top part of the city, and maybe even we can make a garden like behind the train station on this level where you can kind of wait for your trains. That might be a cool idea. But I started working on it a little bit, and I want to get in the deep slate here next to the tracks. And I could get my train over here to do the parts under the tracks, but I'm a little too lazy. I'll get it here later to fix this. And that's looking a whole lot better. Added in our train station here, and we're gonna put a display link on that eventually, but we don't have the board in yet. And now let's get ourselves started on some walls here. And my pickaxe is in the wrong spot. It's a little odd, but I do want the blocks like this. And I'm thinking we go pretty basic here with just a brick pattern that leading up for the main portion of the walls. Now, this is actually starting to look like something. This is coming together really nicely. But before we go ahead and give that a little more love, I want to connect this here to the tunnel. And I'm thinking we can start with some metal girders protruding from the wall and then meeting up to a pillar around this point. Doing the exact same thing right over here. And using a few temporary blocks here, we can get 2 more facing like that. And yep, made it. Doing the exact same thing on this side, of course. Now up here, I'm thinking we can start adding in a crimside roof. Now we got a quite cool roof going on here, and I do want to add in a little bit of glass right here because I absolutely love the look of train stations that have this bit of glass and they're curved like this. We'll even go ahead and extend that one more block down. Yep. Before we take some of our polished deep slate here and start creating some support for that. Then running this one right here all the way over to the tunnel. And the same thing on this one right over here. We can finish off with something just like that. Then if we take our cut and the site and we'd add that in right here, all the way over into the wall, and like this, all the way back. And we get a little bit of a tunnel bit, and yeah, maybe so the train doesn't, like, if it's raining or something, it just doesn't push it into the station. Honestly, I don't really know, but it looks pretty cool. At least I think so. We're gonna come back to this area a little bit later though, when we finish up this tunnel. As well, it needs a few more details. With that side roof in, I felt a little inspired, so I wanted to get the main roof in, and I went back to the first part of the city to get some inspiration, where I grabbed some polished limestone to create a border, and then I filled in the roof using a mix of crimson wood. And with the roof in, it looks something like this, and I'm starting to like it. Back here, I also added in that little terrain, and maybe we'll turn this into a garden later. Kinda really want to do that. And well, this part of the build really looks half, but we'll work on the tower in a little bit. As before we do that, I want to work on detailing the front, because this is pretty bad. And so why don't we start with the windows, where I'm thinking we take some jungle stairs and some jungle trapdoors like this. And then on the inside here, we start with some glass, and we'll hop around to the inside and fill that in just a second, as we do the same right over here. And ooh, I've really got a light up in there. Then on the outside of this, we put some ladders like this, and I'm thinking we get a little overhang here, flip some spruce support down, place those above the ladders, and then we can place some spruce trapdoors, not there, nope, not there, right there. And we flip these up, which gives us some window details. Yeah, I like that. And well, this entrance also needs a few details, so we'll stack up some dark oak logs here on the sides. Then I'm thinking some dark oak stairs right here. Slabs, that's what I've got on me, and the lodestone right there. Then mangrove slabs right here and above this. Bring in those up one more blocks and a row right there. I think that's pretty good. If we grab our crimson palisades, which I already had in my inventory, we can get that in there. And what if we think of that as like an open gate door thing, and we add that in where it would close up to. 2 mesh fences, and I think we got a pretty good entrance. But for this next part of the city, I'm yet again gonna have to do a little more material gathering. And I think we should throw ourselves right into it. And yes, okay, I have netherrack up here. Do I have more than 32? No. Do I only have 32 netherrack? Of all the things, the item I'm out of is netherrack. Well, luckily netherrack is a block that is not very hard to gather up, so we just have to pop into the nether. And we can get to mining, and yeah, this is not gonna take very long. This right here should definitely be enough. While we're here in the nether, I should probably head over to a crimson forest and just gather up some more crimson nylium. And there looks like there's a lot up here. Perfect, because I need a bunch of this for a few more roofs. And yep, this is actually gonna be a perfect inventory. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Don't look in your inventory while flying in the nether stam. Keeping a lot of this normal, but we're also going to turn a bunch into netherrack bricks and a few into, where are they again? Small netherrack bricks. Perfect. The rest, I guess we can store for now. And while we are on the theme of nether stuff, let's craft this into crimson nylium sod blocks, which means that we can turn them into stairs. And I'm gonna need about a stack of stairs, a stack of blocks, and then a couple of slabs. Last time I got too few of these and I had to go back to nether, so I made sure that I didn't run out of them this time. Before we head for another trip at the, oh, no deep state. Do I have any deep state sitting over here? 26, and a lot of this deep state, which is actually gonna be quite useful now that I want to use it over at this thing. Let's see, what do we have in here? Where is our etched? Am I blind? Oh, there they are. Perfect. But the regular deep state only got me far enough, so we gotta grab a little bit of regular deep state right over here. And where is it there? There we go. Cool. To, of course, create, let's see, let's get some polished and let's get some regular deep state bricks. As much fun as it is gathering blocks at the storage room, I've got to say the lumber mill is definitely my favorite place to be. So for the second time today, I'm spending a little bit of time here gathering up even more wood blocks. Another successful trip in the lumber mill. Oh, God, do I love that build. But back at the storage house, I had a few more things left to gather, so I just ran around for a little bit doing that. And with the material gathering done, I headed straight back to the city to get started on the first new building of the second part of this city expansion, where I yet again wanted to add in a building with a tower, fitting that in between the old city and the expansion. And it's definitely looking good. I'm thinking we need one more building in somewhere around here. Maybe one over here. And yeah, right. I did a little bit of work over here where I added in a tulip garden on a stream for a little waiting area if you're waiting for a train to arrive down at the station. However, we have more building to do. I can't just sit around on benches all day. So let's grab some tuff here from my inventory. And let's get to building up some foundations for yet another build. And it looks like I've stumbled across the old well of the village that used to sit here. We're just going to go ahead and cover that up. Getting ourselves back up here on the foundation, we've got some walls to build in. And I want to start with a little outcropping here, extending in some white terracotta, which we can prep some leaves on the front of this. And why don't we get the flower pots on that already? Grab in some dandelion, or a dandelion, and a dark oak forest. No, Stam, you do not have a dark oak forest on your build. It's just one single sapling. However, adding in some windows on top of this and some walls in between, we can incorporate a little bit of spruce into the side and a gate up here in the middle in front of the windows. And to finish it off here, we pop on a roof. On the short side here, let's get a spruce outcropping, and we'll do one on the other side as well. Why not? Then bringing out some beehives here. I want to stack those in towards the middle here so that we don't see that little slot down there. And we'll do the same on this side. Or we can bring out a few brick blocks here and start creating some walls on top of this. On top of here, I'm thinking we take some inspiration from that building over there, where we can start a trim with oak here, some trapdoors and slab mix going all the way along before we start taking ourselves up a little bit. Up here above this, I'm starting to incorporate some sod blocks here, or well, the crimson nylium, and then we mix that in with a little bit of our mangrove. Towards the top here, we start with our dark oak again, taking that across and finishing it up with a slab right over here. And then we bring out our bars like we have on most of the buildings, and we add that across. And of course, can't forget about a few spikes. And disregarding the scaffolding right there in the middle, this build is looking really good. Or facade of a build. So I better just get to work here, placing in even more blocks to get the other three sides placed in. With the door up here, I decided to connect all of these three houses here through a common gatewalk, as I was gonna have a staircase up here, catwalk by the way, and one over here to access these two, and I thought they're so close, so why not just connect all of them and you get a little shortcut down to the market area. But with this house here done, I definitely gotta work a little bit on the path, as it's gonna come up to somewhere around here, and then around this building, and follow this down here to the train station. And now we have a path that leads around from this area over here around to the main path and out to the rest of the world. I will wait on this one down here as well. We are missing a building here and right over here. But before we get those two buildings in, I want to finish up our train station because I already have all of the blocks gathered up. And well, there is still quite a lot to do. This is in shambles. So let's grab our packed mud and start with our tower base. And we're going to start right down here in the front, where I've already kind of marked out where I want the tower to go. I just haven't started building it yet. I think I'm at a height here where I wanna grab our cut blank mud and extend that around to kind of mark out that this is the end of the mud part. And it definitely looks a little odd, but it's gonna start looking a whole lot better soon. Yeah, at least I hope it will. I do want to grab some polished there on the bottom and a block on the top, and then add in 2 trapdoors like this for a window. And we'll add this in on all of the windows here. That definitely gives it a few more details, and I'm starting to like. I will admit it is a little barren, but I do think what is going to come on top of this is really, really going to complement it. But before I want to finish off the tower, I want to get this side building in. We're starting off a foundation that leads up into a brick part, similar to how I did the main structure of the train station. And then I've left some very big gaps here to add in a few windows. On top of the side building, I want to bring out some limestone and get some stairs here on the edge. And this is going to be a little tricky here, I think, as I need to get, or I want to get some sort of like a mosaic in here. And I got some glazed terracotta and some gold blocks. Something in the gold goes in the middle. And now I have to struggle through placing these, I think. Yes, that's how I want that. Oh boy. And after a few tries, finally got that right. The side definitely does look a little odd, but I'm gonna prioritize the side that looks outside. And what we now do is enclose this by maybe making something like this. And 2 more and a stair in the middle like that. Which, yeah, that definitely looks good. However, what if we grab a few, we grab what, 4 of those, and hold our polished cut limestone in our opposite hand, and we can place that down here and get a little more rounded shape. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. And there we go, looking good. Almost. Just gotta fill this in real quick. Now back up here on the tower where I have said it before, but this is going to be a clock tower, and I am really, really excited for it. I do already have a clock in the city, and it's like behind that building over at the town hall, and it looks really cool, and I want to try to make a bigger one. So let's use some deep slate, I was gonna say, but this is dark oak stem to create a frame. Then on the inside of this, we can add in some dark oak in the corners, some stairs to round this off, and then some trap doors to just cover all of the sides with dark oak, which definitely leaves us with a round shape. And if we take some smooth quartz block now, we can add that in around this. Of course, we've got to go and leave the block here in the middle untouched, as I want to add in a clockwork bearing so that we can get a working one. Then we can extend out 1, 2 metal girders. Using a little bit of scaffolding here, we can get up and get that in. And we're gonna have to temporarily remove this so that we can put a flower pot on top of that. Cool. And can't forget some glue, of course. And I already make those into things. I think so. That means I can place that back. Perfect. And so with a style down for one side of the clock tower, I wanted to replicate this on the 3 other sides. Now, I've also done a little bit of work on the inside here, and it looks a little more like a train station, but this area up here still looks a little wonky. So I want to grab some andesite stuff and start adding in a staircase leading upwards, and then we can transition into some catwalks for this little corner over here and get ourselves 1 block higher up. Up here we can continue with the catwalks themselves, continuing them over this way and around, as I'm thinking these 3 here will be an elevator. And if we're up here on the top side, let's add in some andesite slabs right here and get ourselves a redstone contact on this block. And oh right, I can rotate this. Oh, why was I finicking with it so much? There we go. Let's get some girders in on the side of this. And I've already done a little bit of create up here, but I gotta do a little more. As first of all, we get that looking like that, and then we add a cast iron hull to the middle of this. Okay, right, just like that. Then I just got to grab a few more shafts to get down to the display board, which is where we are down at now. And if I can place this all right, we can get our display board right in here. Now I'm actually really eager to hook some power up to this, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. And I'm just realizing that there's a few casings missing right up here. Cool. I do, however, quickly gonna head back over the city to my storage room and grab a few more shafts as I am running out. And perfect. Digging this way should leave me at the power source for the whole city, hopefully, although I'm not sure how far it is. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Let's grab this all the way back around the bend. And oh, is that enough speed? That is the big question here. Okay, wait, hold up. Grab our display link, put that there, and this down here. Okay, definitely spins fast enough. Perfect. Is it a good speed for the elevator? Oh, the clocks. Yes, that's so cool. Might have to change some settings on those though. Is it an elevator? Oh, it is. Okay, it's pretty fast. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with it. Adding in some barriers up here, taking us a floor down, and we can walk down into the train station, under the platform, and aboard our train. Perfect. I've also just remembered that if I grab some limestone, I have copycat steps, which these windows can get a little more detail under them. Yep, this definitely feels like the right thing to do. Perfect. Now, final thing for this train station. This top here is so flat, so I definitely want to add in some pillars first. Then we gotta connect between these with some trap doors and stairs, few slabs just like that, and then we can get across here in the middle with some blocks to cover that up. And this obviously looks really odd, so let's also start on a roof on top of this, which will be built out of basically just mangrove here. And with that tower top done, this train station is completed. Or, well, at least almost. I need to touch up on that tunnel. Definitely not pushing it till later. I was in a build mood after finishing the train station, so I moved on to completing a small little house above the train station. Now that I'm done with this house here, I have the limits on where I can put a path in to get ourselves down to the elevator. And something like this definitely works to bring ourselves up into the city. And I don't know how many times I mentioned it at this point, but that's so funny. I need more of those. But with that done, I still have one more house to finish off. And to start the final house of the city expansion, I want to bring up a deep slate foundation, which we can top with mud. Before we pop on some details here, we bring in some dark oak, and then with some cut scoria walls, we can connect those up to the rest of the build. Bring these up 2 more blocks, and then walls in there, and connect the front here. Where do we get a middle point? Doesn't look like it, so we just extend those in there, and they'll not be in the center. Oh, some people are gonna hate that. Then what we do is we start a mangrove roof on top of this, extending that down to this level, and in front of these things, and back up on the other side. And after that little outcropping there, I just had some details to finish up. And with the details done, all that was left was to add in the roof, and I went with a netherrack roof for this one. And walking up into the town here, this building really completed this little area here, connecting it over here. And I do want to make a shop front here eventually. I just don't have the time. I'm going away and I'm literally running out of time to record this. Luckily, I have an editor now, so I will actually get this video out on time. Without him, I would have been screwed. But I still have this massive area that looked really bad. So I booted my stream up to give it a makeover. And oh my, do I think this turned out absolutely amazing. I am planning to put interiors in all of these houses. Like I've said before, I'm not going back on that. I just don't have the time. So I've put signs in them so I remember what I want to put in the stores. And then I'll make the interiors once I'm back from my skiing trip. But I have this pathway here that leads down and to the main pathway, or the pathway outside of the city. And eventually I'm going to want some buildings on this slope, but that's future expansions. But this allows us to also get down to the train station without using the elevator. And finally connect the kale factory to the rest of the road network. The path used to end like below here. It ended right here, and it was connected through the village pathways. And finally it's connected. How did this perfect. But I'm not quite done yet, and I have a little more time to work on something. And this has been an area which I wanted to do since I started this project. And I've already made one interior on stream, and it's this butcher shop here. Currently it has a little belt running right through it, and it will probably keep on having that. But this is to power the cobblestone farm. Anyhow, there's a bacon and there's pork chops over here. and some more on some plates here. And in this little backyard, I want to have some pigs in a little pen. And yeah, they're probably gonna be slaughtered, but this is Minecraft and they're gonna stay there forever, so it's fine. And I've added it in. And why do I sound sad? Because, well, I forgot to click the record button. It's fine. It's fine. We have the 2 pigs. They're chilling in their pen. I added in a little roof back here. And they're totally going to be alive forever. No, we don't look in there. No. But with that mishap over, I just had one more thing to finish off the city expansion. And that was to run around and add a little bit of vegetation a little bit everywhere. And, well, if I'm going to be honest, there was very little vegetation to add because I've been filling this area very, very compact. And the only area where I could think of adding vegetation more now would be this area down here. And, well, maybe up here. But I'm going to cover this in houses eventually and build something else down here. So it's definitely a waste of time for me to cover it in vegetation now. And, well, that means that this city expansion is completed. And I think it turned out a lot better than the last one. I definitely think it's the fact that I'm learning, and I am a huge fan of how all of these houses came together. I think I planned this one out more and a little better. I'm super excited once all of these houses have interiors like this one, but that's gonna have to wait a little bit. But the plan is definitely to give all of these houses an interior. For example, this one's gonna be a pottery store. I also didn't show this too much, but I did add in some produce to the market stands. This one over here, we have a market with some vegetables. We have a bakery stuff because this in here is going to be a bakery. And right over here, we have a little bit of fish. And I thought I was super clever putting these on glass and then an item frame that I made invisible so that they would still be here because I can't place item frames on contraptions. But I've had so much fun making this video and I'm going to go and have super fun skiing for a week now. And I am so excited. So thank you so very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Also, subscribe and like to the video. I think I forgot to say that during the video, so you have it here at the end. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see... I forgot my outro. That's it for me. I forgot my outro. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.